Felix here, another tough day in the market. Is it going to end ever, or is this just the beginning of the great crash? I'm going to show you the macro. I'm going to show you the data, the inside. We look at the technical analysis of the QQQ and the SPX so you can come to that conclusion yourself. I will, of course, tell you what I think of it. I'm not going to keep it a secret. And none of the following, of course, is financial advice. You know that by now. So, be sensible about everything you hear. Look for, opposing opinions and all that kind of stuff. That's what makes us smarter. So what have you got? Well, the VIX curve, and if you've been watching me for a while, you might see me drone on about this because I'm an options trader and we really, really care about VIX curve inversions. What does it mean? It means the market is expecting the crazy right now to be worse than the crazy in 6 months' time. You might think that's a good thing, but it also means everything that's happening right now is pretty much in the unpredictable space, although with a very, very bearish tint to it. Orange juice, something I joke about quite often, but seriously, the futures have just hit a 5-year high. So if you wanted a hedge, a hurricane season hedge seems to be orange juice, literally because of the hurricane hitting Florida today, and apparently the Carolinas, I believe, next, with some fatalities, which is, of course, dreadfully sad. I checked in with a couple of our coaching students who are in that region. They seem to be all right with water and electricity running, which is, gratifying to see. A big move today. Well, apart from the whole great big stock moves, what's actually going on here? Why are these stocks tumbling as they are? Well, Meta announcing a hiring freeze. Zuckerberg said today to his employees they will end 2023 as a somewhat smaller organization, apparently also referring to the lack of revenue growth over at Meta. CarMax, not a stock I look at very often. They've reported today, and what is it? Secondhand cars, right? So they dropped 20% after missing expectations, partially causing Tesla to fall 7% and the whole car sector getting pummeled, because if people are not buying second-hand cars, they're also not buying as many first-hand cars, and that's an important thing. From a SoFi point of view, this is bad news because privately held student loans are no longer applicable for Biden's debt relief plan. Why is that bad news? Because you are less likely to move your money into a privately held lender if you think you might forego future debt relief. Yeah, I think people, once they expect get a bit of debt relief, they expect future debt relief. Plus, at the second time, I think there are 6 states in which Republicans are taking these Biden measures to court. So that'll delay the whole thing. And the one thing that SoFi wants desperately is for the moratorium on student loan repayments to be over and done with. It would give them a tremendous boost. This does quite the opposite. Let's look at the SPX, so the SP 500 and the QQQ technicals. Before we do that, I wanted to show you, for transparency and perhaps inspiration, how we're making money today. So we are making about $600 and a bit today, very nicely up on all of our trades. Why is that one showing minus 80%? Should you be worried about that? No. If you understand a little bit more about how options work, here is the portfolio live. So I set up a trade 2 days ago on Netflix and venturing that it's going to go down. It could go to 0 and I make money. But I also thought I might be wrong on this, and Netflix might go up 20%, and I still want to make money, and that's precisely the trade we set up. So Netflix going up 9% yesterday isn't actually costing me any money. Our break even is $260, so we could go up another $20, another 9% essentially, and we'd still be making money. So that's the beauty of why we make money with options trading, because we are making money when we are wrong, and that's a really, really important thing to appreciate. If you want to check out how to join the program, I'll tell you about it at the end in a second here. But let's have a look at the stock charts, because it's one of those days when stock charts are incredibly, I would say incredibly interesting. Obviously, you have to tell me whether or not you think it's incredibly interesting. Tell me in the comments, or whether you think charts are incredibly boring. So this is literally what I just talked through with one of my coaching students. And what we were looking at is where we are right now and where we were in June. And you see, we had that double low in June at exactly the same price point we're at, 3,640. That's where we are right now. So we did break through it today, but we've come back to it. And that's very important to kind of hold this. And we also held yesterday, 2 days ago, we also closed above it. So we're really retesting this whole zone. And in a sense, we're building a lot of resistance, a lot of support rather at 3,640. But if we do really crash through the lower end of it, then there is really nothing left there. From a technical point of view, we got a buy signal, well, somewhere in late August, basically here, and it's still very, very much holding true. So it's still basically screaming, sell, sell, sell. Now, I don't actually sell, sell, sell in these moments. In fact, I look for bargains, and I nibble every week on stocks because, you know, they're cheaper than ever. QQQ, very similar story. We are slightly, ever so slightly above the lows of the 16th of June here again. And if I go back to the left, there's nothing, right? And you see there's nothing at these price points. No support whatsoever once you break through that until you literally get to November 2020. And then you are back September 2020. And then, you know, you're back towards the hideousness of COVID, but we're not quite there yet. We do have some support at 267. We have some at 260. Below that, it gets seriously choppy. So really, that's what we're gonna hold. So what is our options trade saying? Let me show it to you. Our QQQ trade makes money anywhere below $320. Isn't that a thing of beauty? So we make money anywhere below that green line here. So we could have a massive, massive rally and we're still making money. Do I expect a massive, massive rally? Honestly, no, because the macro hasn't changed. And that's what I watch out for. The Brits try to throw some money at the problem for pension reasons we don't need to go into here. I talked about it this morning. And the market hasn't really, well, it bought it for a moment. And today, you know, treasury yields are up again. So the fundamental story of high inflation, super tight labor market, we saw that in the data today, resilient spending to some extent, but really a Fed hell-bent on crashing the economy and tightening financial conditions. And you and me, stock investors, that's what they want to tighten up, right? So I think 6 Fed speeches today by Fed presidents. It's like they're on a book tour or something. They've got, you know, copies left. They need to sell them desperately. That's what's going on here. So unless that changes, I don't really see the market changing very much. So great time to buy stocks. Absolutely, I'd say so. But do it gradually and nibble away at the high quality stuff that's at lower valuations. And if you want to learn how we make money and how we are making, you know, $600, $700 today with zero time spent, literally zero time spent since Tuesday, go to felixfriends.org/coaching if you have at least a 5-figure portfolio. So that's, you know, $10,000 up or a little bit more than that. It would help. It can be in anything. It can be in property or whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just to give you a sort of a frame of where we are and where the people on that program are. We've got people with portfolios that are options portfolios that are 10,000. We've got people with options portfolios that are a couple of $100,000. So that's kind of the range we're looking at there with that program. If you're not quite there yet, there's zero shame in that. And really, I'd encourage you to want to get there. You want to get to 5 figures because it just makes it easier. So how do you get there? Well, you have to build an extra income stream. No matter what you're doing, you need the extra income stream. I give you one right here. Go to felixfriends.org/options. Learn how the strategy works, not just the theory. Watch me trade live every week. See all of my trades in the master options portfolio and learn from that. And it's a tremendous community. We answer all your questions in live chats every day and so on. So check it out, felixfriends.org/options, and write down that coupon code, build wealth there. And I want to say thank you for tuning in. Winston seems busy, but hang on, I've got a cat. This is the stand-in for Winston this evening, a little bit smaller, about a 10th of the size. Her name is Tallulah, our chief financial analyst. And she says, don't sweat the small stuff, keep investing, keep building wealth, and see you on the next one.